Cool. So, hello everyone, and welcome to Lucknow Meetup. This is our 16th meetup, and today we are going to discuss on Munit and Mule 4. So, the organizer for this meetup is Yakub, Rutuja, and myself. So, Yakub, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yes, sure. Thanks, Abhishek. So my name is Akib Javed. So I have total 8 years of experience, out of which 4 years are in Mule, and I am Mulesoft certified developer and architect. And currently, I'm working with TCS as an assistant consultant. So Ratuja, you can go ahead. Ratuja,
I think might be some technical issue.
yeah, she is there in the meeting.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. Let me continue with mine. So, hello guys. I'm one of the organizer, also the speaker for today's meetup. So, hi, this is Abhishek. I'm a Mulesoft ambassador working as an associate solution architect at Epicero. I have overall of 7+ years of total experience, where 5+ years in Mulesoft. I'm certified developer architect, leader for Guwahati and Lucknow group. I'm also a certified GTM champion. So that's all about me. Some safe harbor statement. So both the speaker and the host are organizing this meetup in individual capacity only. We are not representing our companies here. This presentation is strictly for learning purpose only. Organizer or presenter do not hold any responsibility that same solution will work for your business requirement. This presentation is not meant for any promotional activities. Some housekeeping. So the recording of this session will be uploaded in the meetup page within 24 hours. You have been given mic access to all of you. So if you want any time in between, you can pop up with your questions. Let's make it more interactive. We'll love to hear it from you. Okay, so don't feel shy like you should ask this question or not. You can pop up, you can ask. Even if you want, you can put it on chat and we'll try to answer you as we can. And the last one, which is the most important one, the feedback. So once the session is done, you will get a mail with the feedback form. So we'll request you to please fill up the form and send us the feedback, because that is very much important for both the organizer and the speaker and for the group itself, so that we'll know your views. You can also suggest like what type of different topics you want in our meetup group next time, and we'll try to arrange that. Also, if anyone want to come forward being a speaker, they can reach out to any one of us and we'll help you being a speaker to any of the group. Akib, you want to add something?
No, I think we are good, Abhishek.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we'll start with the agenda. So as we know, we are going to discuss Aminet today. So we'll have an introduction to Aminet, the different approach, what we can do. Then we'll talk about test recorder and the limitation with that, uh, the different tools and components we use in Aminet, how we execute the Aminet regarding coverage. So I will just quickly go through the PPTs, because I'm more of a demo guy. I like to show things more into demo. So we'll not discuss much in PPT, but we'll do more the demo part. So if anyone have any question in the PPT, I will request you to hold it for some time. Maybe once we go in the demonstration, I start showing you the things, you will make it more clear then. Okay. So what is Aminet? So anyone from the audience would like to share their part of what they understand what is Aminet?
Yeah, hi. So Surbhi,
Hey Surbhi.
so basically, MUnit we are using for unit testing purpose, like whatever
Mm-hmm.
API we have developed. So
Correct.
multiple flows, as we know that multiple flow we are creating. So
Mm-hmm.
like it is working as expected or not, and in and out we are covering all the flows. So that's why we are using we return the MUnit test cases.
Mm-hmm.
So with the help of that, we will if our coverage is more than 80%, then we are good to go, that yes, whatever we have created, that is fine.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the correct one. I will say. Anyone want to add any other point? Just feel free. And one more point I want to add, like whatever I'm going to show you or discuss is completely based on my experience or practice, what I have done. It can differ from yours. If you feel like I'm going wrong somewhere or I'm not picking up some point, you just feel free to uh, tell me, or keep give your inputs also. Okay, feel free to give your inputs. We are all are here to learn. So let us make it more learning and not make it as a webinar where I am only speaking and you are just listening. Just come up whenever you want. Okay. So as truly said by Survi, like it's a AnyPoint platform dedicated unit tool which is used to test like whatever flows or whatever API we have created, how good it is, how much coverage it is doing, whether it is working fine or not. Okay, so this all things what happens in a minute. Okay, in platform we need to manually do it, we need to manually run it, but when we do CI/CDs, we can write script to run it when we are trying to deploy or build it our CI/CD. Okay, so that's about minute line. Now the different approaches what we have for writing or creating an minute is, one is the manual, which was like going on from Mule 3. What we have seen from Mule 3, we are creating a manual test cases, but we got a new feature which is the test recorder. Okay, now we have two feature, one is the manual and the test recording one. So the test recording is a very great feature basically and mainly for those who are new, who are beginner to Aminate and they want to learn. They can definitely go with the test recorder to see like how the Amunites are created, and it has made the life very much easy. It automatically, like, you just need to record and automatically it gives you everything what we want. So it saves a lot of time, but it has some prerequisites. So like it will work with AnyPoint Studio 7.5 and later. The Aminate version should be 2.2.5 and later. Your Studio plugin should be 2.5 and later, and runtime engine should be 4.3. So these are some prerequisites on which the test recorder will work. So as the advantage come for test recorder, there are some limitations also. So these are some limitations. So like you test recorder cannot be used for a flow where we have got errors, so it doesn't work with error. Then second thing is your flow should be completed. Like if you are creating a test record, I mean it for a particular flow, and you are using test recording, then the complete flow should be successful and it should be completed. If there will be any interruption in between, it won't work. Okay, so like that we have got few limitations also with that. Okay, so we cannot do everything. So there is where the manual approach come into picture. Okay, so even though you are creating a test recorder, I mean it, you can anytime go and you can manually edit that one according to your requirement. Okay, but the test recording feature is good enough to save little bit of your time so that you don't need to like create the payload separately, the attribute separately, the variable separately. You can get all together a complete package in one when you do a test recording. Okay, then the Aminate tools and components. So in my right side, you'll see this is what all tools or components we can see when we are creating an Aminate. In the left hand side, I have mentioned few of the important one which we basically use very often or very regularly, which is required whenever we are creating a manual test case or maybe a recorded one. Okay, so these are some components. Then the way of executing Aminate suite, there are two ways. One is in the studio by default, like if you are having the plugin for Aminate, you can run it in the studio and you can execute the Aminate over there. And the second one is using the command prompt. And just to note a point, it is like my advice, my personal advice is like try to execute your Aminate with CMD. Like suppose you have created your Aminate, everything is fine, and you know, okay, now I have completed my Aminate. Even though you are running it in your studio, you should once run it in the CMD, because that is how your CI/CD is going to work, and that is going to give you the complete uh, good result or the actual result in command prompt, which you may not got in the studio. And I will show you like why I'm saying that. Aminate coverage. So anyone want to say like what Aminate coverage they know about? Like although we have this slide over here, but anyone want to say any point from them? What they understand by coverage or why it is important, what we get from the coverage.
Hi, Abhishek. So this is
Yeah.
Guru.
Hey Guru, yeah.
So coverage basically means whether that particular connector or a flow, whether that has been part of the the immunity test which has run. So whenever
Hmm.
the event passes through that, then it means it's covered, and you actually get a green tick mark at the end.
Correct. So Mnet coverage give you a summary or a report like what flows has been covered in that flow, what implementation has been covered in that implementation, which flows has been covered, what is the percentage for individual flow, for individual XML file, all that you get it from that. Correct. Okay. So, and the last one I will show you, like even you can also ignore a file or flow. Like sometimes it's difficult to create a minute for some flows, or maybe uh, a particular file. Maybe you take error handling, a complete error handling.xml, a global error handling which you are creating, and you wish not to create a minute, or it is quite difficult to create that. Then you can also ignore on the basis of file or flow, and we will also see that. Okay, so we'll go to the demo. Any question till now? Till this, any question? Okay, no question. Fine. So let us go to the demo part. So here, this is my studio. So I have created two API, one for the Aminit project where I will show you the demo, one a small system API, just that I'm connecting, like I have created it as a process and system API thing where I have requester, I have a database, just to show you like how we can really create it. Okay, so there's some rules of Aminit, like whenever we are creating an Aminit, we should mock the inbound outbound, we can say, like any kind of listener or any kind of outbounds, like database or requester or any point MQ, all this we should mock. So can anyone tell me the reason, like why we should mock it, why it is said like we should mock any inbound and outbounds? Anyone want to say the reason?
Yes. So can I go
Yeah,
ahead?
yeah,
Yeah.
sure, definitely.
So the sample responses could change because whenever we create the test,
Hmm.
and when we run the test, we might not be getting the same sample response, and that's one of the reason. Another main reason would be like it's basically a test, right? So it only deals with when the test was written, only those samples are actually relevant. So if it has changed over the time, then we have to create new test or modify the older test.
Perfect, correct. So that's a very good point. Thank you for that, Guru. So just one more point I will add, like suppose you have not mocked the inbound outbound and now you are running your test cases. Now, suppose there is any error with the connectivity. So sample request or response, what Guru has said, that is one point. Apart from that, if there is any issue with the connectivity, now suppose I have a database. Now when I'm running my test cases, the database is not connecting. So now that will, what it will do, it will fail my Aminet. Okay, so to avoid those things, it is advisable, like we should mock the outbound and inbounds. Okay, so we'll go to our studio. So this is my flow. Okay,
Yeah,
this,
Abhishek,
yeah,
inbound and outbound, it means you are saying like input and output, right? Some
yeah. So
input sample data or output sample data, you are saying, right?
not sample data, what I'm saying is regarding the listener and this type of connectors, like requester is an outbound. What it is trying to do, it is trying to call a different API.
Right, right.
Okay, so that's your outbound. So I'm talking about this connectors, you should mock this.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
One more reason I have observed, like suppose if we will not get the dummy data here,
Hmm.
then it will directly hit to our end system, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that will
correct.
create a blunder for us.
Yeah, that's why like whenever we are mocking any connectors, so what we are doing, we are creating a set payload thing, we are creating a sample payload. So
Right.
if we are mocking this, we are using that payload instead of this, so that we are not calling the and system, but at the same time we are providing an output which we are expected from this particular connectors, we can say, or outbounds, we can say.
Mhm.
Okay, and I will show you how we can do that. So first I will show you with the recorder. Okay, how that works, how we can go with the mocking. Okay, there is one more thing called spy. I will tell you like why we are using spy, or what's the benefit of that. Okay, so in this I have created this too. Okay, this is a small raml I have created for my API, which where I have few resources. Okay, just few resources, mostly the get only. Okay, just to trigger the API. Okay, and in system API I have a few more resources where I have got get and post both. Okay, just to show you, like if I'm sending a request from my say process API or my main API to a system API as a post, then how when we mock it, we get the payload and attributes and other things. Okay. Yeah. Any question? Anyone was saying anything? All good? Okay. So in this, I will run this together because I want to have a response from the system API. So if I use recorder, automatically recorder will also run this too. Okay, first it will deploy, it will run both, and then it will create a test case for that. So I am hitting test recorder for this flow. So when I will hit it like I am calling my API. When we deploy it and we run our API, the same way when we creating the recording, the test recorder, we need to hit our API. It will execute. Okay, it will execute completely, and then it will bring us the result. And one thing with the recorder is that the flow which I am choosing with the test recorder to create a minute, it will create the minute only for that flow. Now suppose if I am creating manually a test case, what I can do, I can include some other flows also, and I will show you that. Okay, now in this case, suppose this is my parent flow. Okay, this db1 is my parent flow. Okay, where I have this flow reference. So when I'm creating an aminate, I'm just creating for this, but manually I can do some changes and I can include that flow also in my particular aminate, so that altogether both the flows are covered inside my test. Okay, so see, when it started, when it deployed, you will get a pop-up like this. Okay, now I'll go to my postman and I will hit it. So when I started, see, recording started. So you will get this red symbol. So it state like, okay, it has started, now recording stopped. So it has recorded the minute. So I need to configure now. So I'll go to configure test. Okay, now it will show me that particular flow and all the components in connector in that. Now what I need to do is I need to mock this. So I will click on this, and here it will give me an option like whether I want to perform anything, I want to mock this, I want to verify this, I want to spy this. So I will click mock because I want to mock this. Okay, you cannot have two choice altogether. It is a radio, so only one thing you can choose. Okay, now when I choose it, okay, it has given me option like what all things I need to preserve. Like I want to preserve payload and variable both, or I just want to preserve the payload. Okay, so I will just select the payload, I will remove the variable part, I don't want to preserve the variable. Okay, then I will go to the next connector, which is the requester. Again it is giving me same options. Okay, now here as it is a requester, it has got attribute also. So again it is asking me question like whether I want to preserve all these three or I just want to preserve payload. Okay, so let me select all of them. Okay, and I will show you how it looks. Transform message, you cannot mock a transform message. Okay, either you can verify it or you can spy. So I'll click spy on it. Okay, so anyone, what spy means, what a spy do, anyone want to share, or anyone know about it, guys? What a spy do?
Basically, it's a spy means कि it's allow you to कि what happened before your
Yeah.
test case and after that one. That's why we are using this.
Yes, correct. So that particular component which we are trying to spy, it will say like what happens when I executed it or my payload before going to that component or connector, and what happened after it has passed that component or connector. So that's what spy say. Okay, that's what spy do. So now I have done the required configuration. I have mocked what I need to mock. I spy what I need to spy. I will do next and I will finish. So it will create a minute for me. So my minute is created. Okay. See, automatically it has been created over here. Okay, anyone? If not speaking, please go on mute. I can hear some. Okay, him Sagar, yeah. Okay, so this is my Munit created. Okay, so now I'll just bring the set event. So set event, you can say, is the starting point. Okay, which like if you are having a post request, so if we are doing a post, you are sending an input. So you can define that input over here. Okay, so now in this case, I'm not sending any input, but it has created a DWL file which you will find over this SRC test resources. Okay, so now if I'll find it over here, this is the name of my flow which I have created a test case for. Now it is telling about set event payload. Set event payload. This one. Okay, nothing. So as I'm not sending an input, so it is a kind of empty. Okay, there is no input. If I want, I can remove this. Okay, I can remove this. Similarly, it has created some attributes and variable, so we can check that also. Set event variable, nothing. Then attributes, set event attributes. Okay, so when I have hit my API, so what is the method, scheme, request URI, all this has been recorded over here. Okay, so if you want, you can manually edit it. You can remove the set event if it is a get request and you are not sending anything, and that is not important, like you are not sending any query parameter which is required. If that all things are not required, you can also edit it. Okay, now mock select. So I have selected the DB for mocking, so it has automatically mocked it and created the result. Okay, so mock payload. So if we'll go to mock payload, so this is the input which I receive from the database. So that payload or that input has been preserved. Okay, so when I am mocking my database, I am expected this output from my database, so I am getting that output. So when my test case will run over here, this will get mocked. It will not interact with the database, but the expected result which I have, which is this one, I am getting it. Okay, so this is what the mocking and the preservation of the payload means. Okay, this is one. Second is the requester. In requester, I have preserved the payload, attribute, and variable. So I'm getting all of this. So we'll just see, this is payload one. So this is what my expected output from my system API. So it has preserved that output. Okay, it has preserved the output which I am expecting the requester should give me, the response the requester should give me. So I am getting that output. Okay, then spy, I just spied this one, this particular transform message where I have got some code. So this what I am doing, I am doing a mapping on the output which I am getting from the database. Okay, so I have spied on that. So what it says, like before call, so when I am calling the particular transform message, before calling that, what will be my payload, and after calling that transform message, what should be my payload. So if I see that, so this is spy. Okay, payload. So this is what expected before the transform message. So if you see, this is exactly same what I'm getting out from the database. Okay, this is the same one. If I see the second one, now it has been changed little bit. Okay, see, account ID, country, creation date, and here it is first name, last name, address. So what it has done, it has checked, like before coming to the data wave, my payload should be this. Okay, and after it has crossed the transform message, it should be this. Okay, so it is matching that. It is spy on the transform message because we cannot mock it. Okay, we can only spy. Now for assertion, we have got different components. You can choose according to your requirement. Here what it is doing, it is trying to check the end result the payload attribute variable, everything it is trying to check over there. So this is the payload. It is trying to check like the end result after this, after the completion. This is my transform message. So here I have added a status which is success and the result as payload. So if it is a success scenario, okay, the result whatever I'm getting from the requester, it should come in the result part, and there should be one more field called status. So this is what it has created, and it is doing what it is doing, an assertion check for this, like whatever output the payload what I am getting from the flow at the end, that should be equal to the declaration which I have made over here. Okay, the preserved payload which I have kept, it should be same as that. Similarly, it will also check the attribute and variable. Okay, if you want you can remove it. Okay, not an issue. It's not like always it required. You can just check the payload. Similarly, you have got this assert equal and assert that. These two also do the same, but just you are minimizing little bit of your expression over here. I can just simply write here payload, and I can say I can write it is not null, or I can give the link of this particular payload over here to match, like whatever payload I am getting from my flow is exactly same as what I'm getting over here. Or you can do assert, sorry, that was assert that, and assert equal same, what is the actual payload, like what I'm getting from the flow, my payload, and what I'm expected. So I can again refer to this. Okay, so this is what it do. What verification do? Verification is just verifying, like it is verifying one of my transform message. So it is just verifying like when my flow has been executed, or when I'm running the test case, that particular transform message is getting called or not, it is getting covered or not. So it is doing that. Okay, verification call is doing that. So if you want, I can run this. Let me put one more debugger over here. Any question on this till now? Any question from anyone? Anyone not understanding or want me to explain it again? All good?
Yes, Abhishek.
Yes, Abhishek.
Okay.
Yep.
My pace is right, correct? I'm not very fast, not very slow.
Yeah.
Cool. So it's running. Okay. So it came over here. Here we can see the payloads. Okay. So now it is directly coming from my mock. Okay. It spied over this. It will pass through the requester. Okay. Again, it is coming directly from my mock. Okay. So here you can see whether it is a success or not. Okay, so it has covered everything. Also, it will give you the green tick. Once it is done, the components which all are covered, okay, whether it is success. Now suppose if there is any error in between and it came up to here and then it throw error, so the green tick will be up to this transform message only. Okay, it won't be up to this. But here our test is successful. Okay, here you can generate the report as well. Like from the debug mode I went to the design mode, and here is my report. So this is what the coverage, okay, we were talking about. This gives you the coverage, like for my this particular implementation.xml, what is my coverage. Okay, what is the complete weightage for this particular implementation xml file, in that how many resources I have, what is the coverage. Even I can click on this So it will give me the coverage of individual flow. Okay, flow wise coverage it will give me. Got it? So this is how you are creating, maybe using a test recorder, but you can also use manually you can create. Now I will make a small change, like I have created the test case only for this, but now the parent one is this. This is my parent one. I want to include this. So what I will do is I will simply take the name of this. Here I will change the flow reference. Okay, I will change the flow reference over here. So now what I am doing, instead of calling this particular flow directly, okay, I am calling this flow, and using this flow reference, I am calling this flow and I am covering the test cases. So now you have seen it is covering only the implementation part. Okay, it is not covering the second part. Okay. Okay, it is only covering the implementation part. Now what we'll do, we'll run it again. Okay, now I'll simply run it instead of debugging. One more thing. Now suppose you have separate test cases over here. So now if you want to run or like debug only this particular, click on the suite itself and do Mule debugger or run. If you want to run all the test cases which is present in your this particular suite, then click here and run it. I will show you that also. So I will run it now and we'll see the coverage now. There is no error. This will show you if there will be any error. Okay, now as I am running it in design mode, you will see the success or failure over here. Okay, meanwhile, any question from anyone? All good. So I hope you are understanding.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, where you have done the changes, that reference you have changed, you know?
Flow reference.
Yeah, where you have changed?
So if you open the flow reference, this flow name I have changed. See, earlier this flow reference was referring to this particular flow name. But now what I have done, in order to cover this one also, I have changed the flow reference name. Sorry, hello.
We have passed it, right?
Sorry, come again. You were breaking in between. Come again.
Yeah,
What
like
you are
I'm
asking?
asking. Yeah, we have
Uh-huh.
passed here main parent flow name, right? Flow reference to get DB mule project
Mm-hmm.
dash config. It
Yeah.
is a main, yeah. So
Yeah.
from before that, what was there? I
Before
missed
that,
it.
this call DB subflow was
Okay,
there.
okay. So
Okay.
here
So
we have
now,
right click and start the test recorder, right?
correct. Yeah. So when we right click and hit a test recorder, it will create the ammonit for this. Not only with the test recorder, but if I right click and go to Aminet and create a blank test, so the first reference will be given to the flow because I'm creating over it.
Right,
Okay,
right.
so it will give me the flow reference for that particular flow. Later
Fine.
on, I can manually edit it. Okay, so now how I have edited it, I have shifted my flow reference from this call DB subflow to this main flow, because here we have a flow reference to the DB. Automatically
Right,
it is going to call here, and then I have tested. So earlier, if you see my coverage report now, earlier it was only covering this implementation and this was 0. But now as I changed it, okay, so now this is also covered. Okay, now this is also covered. So I am just increasing my coverage report. So instead of creating a single aminate, there is no use because this is just a flow reference. So what I
right,
have done, I have included it. So you can modify your test cases in that way. Okay, now this is again depends on you. Like if you want, no, I want to create aminate for individual flow, I don't want to include one flow to another, then you can create a separate aminate for this. No issues with that. Okay, this is like my preference. What I do is, instead of creating just for one thing I don't want to create, so I have included that in this particular aminate. So now it has also covered that. Now if you'll go this and if you'll see, so this has been covered 100%. Now I have rest 4, which either I can write a minute for that, or I can ignore that, and I will show you like how the ignore work. Okay, no doubt with that. Now, choice router. So if we have a choice router in our application, how should we write a flow? So if we have a choice router, so the number of conditions we have, we should write that many amulets, because the conditions are different. Okay, now in this case, I have a requester which is calling my system API. It is a GET. So what I have done, I have created a choice in this. Okay, so if my status code is greater than equal to 400, that means if I'm getting an error from this requester, it should go to my first one saying it's a fail, else it should come to my second one. This is what I'm saying. Okay, this is what I'm doing. So now what I will do, I will first create a aminate using test recorder where everything is success, so it will cover my last part. Then manually I will create a aminate which is covering my first part. Okay, so now I will hit the test recorder again. Let us give it time to execute. Meanwhile, any question from anyone? When we'll use assert that and assert equal and assert expression, all these are the same purpose or different? See, the purpose, Pratyush, the purpose for this are same, just to assert the output, just to check the output what you are getting is meeting the requirement or not. When to use it, like suppose you want to match payload, expression, variable, everything, you can go with assert expression. Assert equal, like I use basically assert equal, where I am, what I am doing is I am checking the status code whether it is 200 or 400. Okay, for that, just for that particular thing, I am using assert equal. Okay, same as there is one more, uh, assert that. There also you can do the same thing. So ultimately they are doing the same thing, just few difference is, as I've shown you, in some of them you have to give the complete expression. In some you can directly define, okay, the expression which I expect is a payload and it should be a not null case. And another one is like the particular input which you can give, like I expect 400 as an output, so I will give a variable http.status code and that should be 400. Okay, so in that way you can use it. Okay, you can decide whether what is my requirement and what output I want. Okay, instead of using the expression, you can also use the verify call, which we generally, like I generally do when I write, I mean it for error cases, just to check whether a transform message or a logger inside that error handling is passed, is covered or not. Okay, because sometimes when you are doing error handling, it is quite complex to create a, a good ammunit for that, like spying on that or asserting that, that can be a little bit complex. Okay, so you can go with verification over there. So this is running, I will hit it, it's recording, configured. So now in this I'll just mock this. Okay, I'll mock payload, attribute, variable, everything. Okay, next, and flow created. Okay, now I will run it. Now see, this was quite small flow, we don't have to do much thing. It has taken assertion expression where it is testing all the payload attributes and variables because I have not removed everything. Okay. And meanwhile, it has also created a separate folder for that, stating like, okay, this is for my sys API flow. See, so now my default case has been tested because it is a choice condition and the first condition doesn't fulfill because it is a success scenario. Now what will I will do is I will manually create it. Okay, I will manually create for my this negative case, I can say, or when I'm getting an output as a 400. Okay, why I will get why I will not get an error and a 400? Because in my response I have used a success status which is 0 to 599. So even though my system API is throwing me an error, I will not get an error in my this particular process API and it will pass through. But I am recording that over where I am recording that over in my transform message. Okay, so now what I will do is I'll bring it down. Although this is for my same flow, okay, I can either copy it or I can create it one, uh, a new one. Okay, so what I need to do is test. I'll bring it down. Okay, flow reference, I can copy the same because I am using the same flow. Okay, now what all things we have over here in this set event. So in this I am passing a attribute. Okay, I'm passing a query parameter. If you'll see, this is my system API, this is my RAML. Okay, so for this test, I have a query parameter mode, which is true. So I need to pass it. Okay, so I can see a query parameter field over here because I am passing it. Okay, that is mandatory field. So it has also covered that, preserved that. If I'll see over here, okay, I don't see any query parameter field because I was not passing any query parameter. Okay, so what I can do is my input is also same, so I can copy the same over here. Okay, my mock requester is also same. I will use that. Just one difference I have over here. Now if I go to my mock requester, say I am taking the same output as well. Okay, no issues. This is my payload, mock payload, the response which I am getting from that system API. Okay, this is my success one. Now if I go to the attribute, mock attribute, now the status code is 200 over here. But what I want is my this particular flow. Let me close this. My this particular flow expect a status code which is more than or equal to 400. So what I will do, I will just create a similar one, say a attribute 2. I have just what I have done, I have just copied this mock attribute and pasted the same. Just give me a minute, it's not responding. Sorry, I will mock attribute, I will use this. Okay, I will name it as mock attribute 2. I'll go inside that. Instead of this, I will change it to 400. Okay, now I will come to my this requester. I'll go to my this attribute part. I'll change it to 2. If I don't require this variable, I can remove it, but it's empty, so it's fine. Now for assertion, what I will do is I can use assert that, okay, and I can say my payload should not be null. Anyhow, I'm using a transform message, okay. I'm using a transform message, so I'm getting a payload out of it, which is this failed. So I'm getting a payload. Now I will debug it. And as I was saying, like you can, if you want individually, you can choose a particular test flow either to debug or run. So I'll just right click on this. I'll use debug Munit test. I'll close everything from the right. Okay, it came over here. Now let's see what all we are getting. Okay, forget about this. Let's see the status attribute status code. See, I have marked 400 over there and I am getting 400. Okay, so it came to the first part and I have a success scenario. Okay, so what I have done is, like, I have created one more suit. Okay, first use the test recorder to create the default one, and using that I have created a second one. Just I changed the status code which is required, like, just to show you, I have just changed the status code, but if you want, you can change the payload, what the actual payload you want. Okay, just to preserve some time, I have not done that. So what the actual payload you want, you can use that. Now assert that what I have used, like, my payload should not be null, like it can be any value, okay, but it should not be null. If I want, I can pick up a particular one, saying like I can use a DWL file over here, I can preserve some input over there, and then I can say this is my payload and I can give the reference of that. Okay, so to give a reference for any particular file over here, you use this command, okay, read URL. This is one command. It is not like you need to use only this. This is one command which you can use, okay, to refer to that particular file which is there in your folder, and make sure it should be in your src test resource folder. Okay, so you can automatically take, okay, Mulesoft automatically prefer this folder for your Munit uh, files. Okay, just you need to give the folder name and the file name over here, and it will automatically pick up from that. Okay, second thing, you should give a proper suit name. Okay, so like I will change this suit and I will say it like call sys 400 yeah 400, like this name, so that I will identify like this one is for my default case and this is for the case where my attribute status code is 400. Okay, so this mock request, this should have a proper name. Okay, whenever you create your API event, even you should have a proper name like calling sys API. Okay, like that you need to give a proper name, because when you are writing a minute, when you are mocking, you need to be understand like what you are mocking. Okay, in this, it automatically it is only mocking the ID, but what I will prefer is whenever you are mocking anything, okay, you should go, like, this is a way how you manually mock it. You should go you should search for that particular flow. Like this is my requester. You can mock the name as well as the ID both, so that you will also know like which particular component or sorry, which particular connector you have mocked. Okay, this is what you can do. So for mocking, just if you are creating it manually, okay, I will show you one case where I will manually create something. Okay, I will not mock, but I will show you a case of lookup. So when you are mocking, you get this option pick process. When you go, it will show you all the flows what you have. Okay, so I have this two particular files. In this I have got this different flows. I need to select from which flow I need to mock. I am writing a unit for this call system API, so I will choose that and I can mock my particular connector which I want. Okay, similarly for spy, you get an option you need to pick. Okay, in this case we are spying a transform message. This is for my first flow in this. So this is my transform message. So you can see the ID over here. Okay, you can mock with name and ID, but try to give a proper name to your transform message so it will be identical. You will not be confused like, okay, what I have mocked. Okay, any question till now?
No, no, Abhishek.
Okay, so now as we know, we cannot mock a transform message. Okay, so here I have created a flow, a small flow where I have a transform message which using a lookup. So now how to handle this? If I have a lookup function, I cannot transform my flow. So how should I write a test case for this? Because when it will come to transform message, it will try to call this particular flow, which is not possible. If it is a flow reference, we can do it because automatically it will refer to that, but it is not possible with a transform message. So anyone know how we can do that for a lookup? If we have a lookup, if we have data view which is have a lookup, how should we do that? How should write a data unit test for that? Anyone? No.
No, I
Um,
don't.
Abhishek, can
Yeah.
we just call the flow that you will be calling, or can we use the then call function to call the go to the test case and then call the another flow?
Which function? dn
Then call.
then call. Okay, yeah. So then call will be in the mocking service, in the mock when component, but we
Okay.
cannot use a mock when. Then in that case what we can do, i
Can we
will show
call
you
the?
I will
Okay,
show
sure,
you
sure.
then when also. Okay, then call operation where we can use it. We can use it in when we are using VM. So in VM what happened, VM close the server when we write a minute. So if it is a publish and listener, so if you write a minute for a flow which have a publish, it will not go to the listener. In that case we can mock the VM and we can use the then call, and I will show you that. So first let us do it for this. So I will create a manual one now. So create a blank test. Okay, so here I'm not mocking anything. What I will do is I need to call this flow from this. So I'll just use a normal verify. Okay, there is nothing to mock, so I'm not going to mock anything. I will pick process. Now what is my flow? My flow is this one where I have the lookup. Okay, it should verify at least once. Like at least one it should be called. You have got different other things also like equal to or most. Okay, so I'm using at least one. Like at least one this should be called. It can be called more time, but in my case I'm using only at least once. Okay, so flow reference this. Now let me show you without doing any changes like whether it fails or not. See, it failed. What it is saying? Exception while executing lookup. Okay, there is no component name sf lookup flow. Whereas I have a subflow, or sorry, I have a flow, private flow where sf lookup is there. Okay, so it's failing. Okay, so my test case failed. Now I need to handle it. What I can do is, in your suite itself, you at the last you have an option of list of flows. Okay, so you need to add your flow over there. So my flow was sf lookup flow. I will add that over here. Okay, now let me try to execute it and see what happens now. See, it passed. Now if I'll see, my both the flows are covered. Now I haven't got any error. Okay, so this is how you handle if there is any lookup. In the suite itself, you have got the option where you need to just list that flow. Okay, which you want, which is in the lookup, and you want to call that flow, because we cannot mock data wave. So if we think like, see, if it is a flow reference, so we can mock a flow reference, we can mock that and we can move forward. But until and unless this lookup is handled, you cannot move forward because you cannot mock it. So by default you need to choose this option so that it will go down, it will call that particular flow, and you can run your test case and you can pass it. Understood? Any doubt in this?
Abhishek Gajanand here.
Yeah, Gaja.
This particular flow, it means it will execute, right?
This particular flow
I
means
mean, like the subflow we are talking about, right? This in
this one.
transformation, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So if we have some sort of logic, then it will
Huh?
execute by deployment, right?
Yeah, so you can mock things over there. That's not an issue. Like now suppose if you have a requester or any other thing over here, so
Mm-hmm.
simply you can use the mock connector over here, because that is in a particular flow. Like suppose I am using a flow reference, so in that also what I do, if I am creating a chain of eminent over there, where from one flow reference I am calling some other flow or subflow, where I have got some logic, I can mock the components over there, na? The connectors over there. So same way you can do over here also. Like you are calling a lookup and you are calling a subflow where you have got some logic, or maybe
Like request
uh,
or DB, whatever it
requester,
is.
or yeah, whatever, you
Mm.
can mock it.
So we in the
So
in the
mhm.
unit itself in the behavior part or where it is? Show me once again.
In the behavior part,
Yeah, we can. So that is what I just highlight here. Like we can do
yeah,
that
we
also
can do
because
that, correct.
otherwise it's a making a like impression is like it will execute, right?
Yeah,
Otherwise,
correct.
it will not make sense, right? The dummy data will be get inserted or I have the problem.
Correct. Because see,
Mm,
whenever we are using a mock when it is not restricting me to any particular flow. Now, suppose I am creating a minute for a lookup flow, but it is not restricting me only for lookup. I can choose any other components or connectors also here. Okay. So in that way, if I am doing that using mock, I can mock the requester or DB connector, whatever I have, so
mm.
that it satisfy my condition and it doesn't interrupt or it doesn't give me error.
Yes, perfect.
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
now,
Thanks.
now it's
Thanks.
like we are using Emirate properly. Because otherwise, what
Yeah.
happened is people
Hmm.
like just take a flow name and then they thought like it will be handled. It's not gonna be
No,
handled.
no,
It
no,
will
no. It's
execute
not.
on the back end.
Yeah, that's why I said like that's why we are doing it manually, because even your recorder will not be able to do that. And when we are doing manually, we need to take care of these things. We need to handle that.
Great, great. This use case is very useful.
Useful. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. For each, again, like if you do it manually, now in for each you can do a lot of iterations. So what I generally do is like I just pass one particular array of object to iterate, so that I don't need to create a lot of choice conditions over here. But if you are using test recorder, then that is very best to do it, because automatically it creates the flow. Okay, and it creates the choice conditions or whatever required components required in Munit. It automatically create that, and I will show you that also over here. Like how the test recorder do it. Like uh, before, when used to do it manually, I didn't knew that part. Like that is also possible. I used to pass only one object, array of object, so that I don't need to have the iteration and just pass it on. But when I tried with the recorder, I have seen something new. Okay, and this is like you will also know like, okay, this is also possible, because I have shown you how many different components we have in Aminet. Okay, we have got stored, retrieve, lot of things we have, but how to use it. So this is a great example of showing like how you can use all those components over here.
Guys, keep focusing. Abhishek, giving a great tricks to you guys for make your development life easy.
Yeah, yeah, thanks, Gajan. And that's why, like at the beginning, I said whatever I'm showing is based off my experience and practice. What I have done, it may differ from yours, but these are like very useful when you are creating any Aminit, because there are like Aminit is very big and there are a lot of things. What is there
Mhm.
in Aminit which even I have not tried. Okay,
Mhm.
just recently I learned like how we can do a minute for batch flow. Okay, there are some good blogs. I will share the reference with you people. Okay, but I have not invested much in this batch job. I have done only for the success, but there is also something you can do for your failure cases. Okay, and I will give you the blog where you can see that one, and we'll try to have a session particularly on batch, maybe like how we can handle minutes, because batch processing is different than what we are doing in this. Like this is quite normal, but batch processing is quite tricky. Okay, that is not very simple, because batch processing is asynchronous and minute is synchronous process. Okay.
Seems like it's a master class of a minute.
Not very advanced, but yeah, by after this class I'm sure you will get a lot of knowledge and you will be able to do the basic minute, I will say.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's big trouble. Like we can complete our APIs, but we're stuck within the
Correct.
unit itself, and
Yeah,
it
and
takes 1 or 2 days. Yeah.
this is a pain. Like a lot of people are like don't want to do minutes, because it take more effort. You need to go through all the inputs, you need to preserve
Mhm.
that, then you need to create it.
Yep.
Okay, so this is recording. This is a scheduler, so automatically it is working. I'm not doing anything. Now I'll just configure it. Okay, this is asking me where I want to create it, whether I want to create it in the implementation suite, which was already present when I did the other recorder testing, or the manual one which I have created. So I will choose the earlier one where other test cases using the recorder are there. Okay, here I will mock. Okay, I'll mock the database. I'll mock this requester. I don't want the attributes. Okay, I will uncheck that. I'm not going to spy because I've already shown you that. I'm just simply creating it. Okay, now see. I'm not sure how good you can see it altogether. I can bring it, but see, this is my flow where I have a for each, sorry, a flow reference which is calling the flow. But with respect to that, I have one more private flow which is containing some, I can say, object stores, which is having some choice router. Okay, now how this is working, I will show you. Okay, just pay attention because this is very beautiful. Okay, so see how this is getting called. This is getting called from this requester because we have mocked the requester, and this is the then call, like Surabhi was saying about this. So what I'm doing is I'm mocking the requester, but at the same time I am doing what I am calling some other flow. So this is what the then call is used, and I will show you when I will do the VM. Okay, now let me debug and show you. Again, I will set event, I will put it over here. So that is my starting point. Okay, I will put one debugger here as well. I'll save it. Now I will debug it. Okay, it's running. Any question, anyone?
Guys, it's a great opportunity to ask a question.
Just feel free to ask. Anyone can answer you. Okay, even Gajanan is over here. Okay, you have any doubt, any question, please utilize the session. Okay, because a lot of people want to know about Aminate. Okay, a lot of people have a lot of question on Aminate, so just utilize the time, I'll say. Okay, it came over here. Okay, first one, it going to the requester. Now there was a then call in the requester, so when I hit the requester, it came to my this one. Now it's trying to first retrieve. At present I don't have anything in retrieve. In retrieve, what I am doing, I am just using the count. I am preserving the count. Okay, like how many times the for each is done, so I am preserving the count over here. Okay, so nothing to retrieve. What it will do, it will come to the continuous part. Okay, and I hope you know the difference between on air continuous and on air propagate. So continuous will continue my flow and it will not break it. So it took the payload as one, it has stored it. Okay, now first choice where the payload is one. Okay, satisfied. First condition came out. Second iteration, I have a total of 4 payloads over here. Okay, 4 object I have. Second, then third, then fourth. After 4 I don't have anything, so it will come to the default part, which will say there is no more iteration to do. Okay, came out, then it asserted. In assertion it is checking the payloads. Okay, and my amino is successful. Now I can show you what things were there. This is my for each tab. Okay, this was my assertion one, the last one. I am trying to, like, whatever output or whatever things I'm getting from the for each flow, I'm trying to see that match that payload. One thing, the for each doesn't return a payload, because if I keep a variable over here, it can return the variable, but it doesn't return me the payload. So the payload which I am matching over here is the payload what I am getting over here. But I am doing an iteration just to verify whether my for each is working fine or not. Okay, just I'll close other tab. Okay, this is my requester.
Abhishek, one
Yeah,
question. Like
yeah.
before the forage, the payload, and after forage payload, can you
Mhm.
just explain what you are trying to do there?
Yeah, I will show you. Sure, I will explain you that. see, this is my first payload from the forage. Okay, this is my second payload from forage. So I have just done a get request. From there I'm getting the same output. In this flow, what I have done, I have limited four. So I'm calling my database. I'm selecting some output from my database, and I'm creating an array of object of four inputs. Okay, I will show you that. This is my selector. So I will have my payload over here. This is mock payload 4. Okay, this is my output which I am getting from my database.
Database.
Okay, this is my output. Now after this, it is coming to my this data transform message where I am transforming the output which I am getting from my, let me show you again. This is my output from my database, okay, where I have an array of object and there are four objects. That means if I am using a for each where I am iterating over a payload, in this data weave, what I am doing, I am just mapping it. I'm just writing some logic to change the field name, okay, and create a different output. I'm doing that. Are you
Okay.
getting?
Yes,
So
yes.
when it comes from this transform message to for each, so 4 times my for each will iterate because my array of object is 4.
4.
So it is going to this requester. From this requester, I am getting some output, which is this one. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, these are same. Okay, just don't consider that. These are same because I am doing a get request. I'm not doing anything else. This is just a get request. If I do a post request, I might get a different output from this requester. So my output for this payload would change. But the property of for each is that it do not transfer or travel the payload which is there inside the for each to the outer
Outside.
world. Yeah,
Yes.
it can transfer the variable but not the payload. But what I am doing, I am calling only the payload. So I am not considering what output I am getting. What I am just considering is my for each should execute properly. And in this test case, this particular flow, this mock HTTP request, this flow is checking the output which I am getting from the requester is iterating 4 times or not, like the count is perfect or not, and the required output which I have matches or not.
Okay, got it.
Okay, it is just setting that. It is not checking that, it is just checking the iterations. Okay, there are some other way, like what you can do is after that, like once you are doing this assertion in the main flow, you will have a count variable from for each. Okay, whenever we create a for each, we create a variable got counter. So here you can have that, you can assert that. Maybe it should be there, let me check. So it is assert expression payload. Is it creating any variable? No, it is not creating any variable. Okay, but what you can do is you can set a variable over here saying counter, and the value of counter should be 4. So that is also one input you can give to check whether your iteration has been done 4 times or not. That means your for each is working properly or not. Okay, are you getting my point?
Yes, Abhishek.
Okay, so this is just a scenario to show like how you can write a test case for your for each. If you are creating a flow with for each, this is one option to do that. Manually, if I want to do, what I will do, like I have got the output from my database as this 4. I will not take 4, I will just take 1. So what will happen when it will go to the for each, it there will be no iteration because it is just 1. It will just take the object, it will go to requester, it will take out the response, it will go to the data wave, and it will come out. Okay, so in that case I don't need to write all this. I don't need to have this particular private flow. Simply I mock the requester, I will say okay, I'm getting one output, that's it. Okay, but recorder is helping you to check a perfect example of for each with the iterations. That's what I want to show you over here. Okay, hello.
Yeah, Abhishek, we are able to listen you.
Okay.
Yeah, just to like Abhishek is explaining like if we do manually, it's straightforward, like one record, just testing, and that's done, right? But
Yeah.
in actual scenario, our for each will behave like this. So the immunity is capturing all like immunity recording is capturing all the possible scenario for you.
Correct.
Yeah.
And in this, if I don't put a transform message over here, correct. So again, it will be simple. Like this flow will not be created. Only one flow will be created, and it will just simply pass that. Okay. Just in order to show you like how beautifully the recorder creates it, I have created this flow with a transform message outside and showing you like what all components we can use. Like we have several components in this minute. So what is the use of this? Okay, because generally we don't use all this component. Okay, all this component we never use, we use the selected one. But just to show you like how we can use and what can be the advantage of this. Okay. Okay, now I will just try to make it fast. So for VM, I'll create a flow, create blank. Okay, in this, okay, in this I'm just passing an attribute. Okay, query parameter mode, I need to pass this because the next flow which I have with respect to this requester, this required a query parameter, okay, which is mod. This required a query parameter, so in order to run that I need to have it. So what I will do is I have created a minute. In this I'm not going to mock anything. I'll just do verify call and I will just verify the VM. Okay, I'm not mocking anything. Still you will see like although I have a VM, I'm not mocking anything. It is not going to my second VM. Okay, I will set event, set this, sorry, set event. Okay, I need to have an attribute which is query params. So what I will do is I already have it. So I will just try to refer that, not here. Uh, attributes. Where is my, yeah, set event attributes. So I can directly refer to this also. Okay. Set event attribute. Yep. I hope you guys are not getting bored.
Abhishek.
Okay, let me try to run it now. Okay. Okay. See, although I have not mocked everything, sorry, mocked anything. Okay, I just did a verification call to my VM. Automatically the VM is stopped. In place of VM, if I would had a flow reference, what it would do, it would have gone to this particular flow. Okay, because I would have given the reference. But what VM do, VM automatically close the server when we do the minute. Okay, so I, although I'm getting a success response, but this is checking only this particular flow. Now if what I want that, although this is getting checked, okay, although this is getting checked, I want the consecutive flow, which is this one, should also be covered inside it. So what I will do is, okay, so here instead of verifying the VM, I will mock that particular VM. Okay, this is my VM, I will mock it. Okay, now here I need to provide the payload. Okay, because what is happening here, this attribute mode is becoming a payload. Okay, this is getting a payload because this is required over here in this my query parameter. So simply what I can do is, so I'll go here, sorry, I will mock it again. Okay, I will create it. I'm directly writing it in this place only. I'm not creating any additional file for it. Okay, JSON. Okay, in this now, in order to call that VM, I need to use then call, and I have to call that flow, which is call VM flow, which I was talking, which Survi was talking earlier. Call VM flow. Okay, this is my call VM flow. Now the point which Gajanan had told regarding when I was doing the lookup. Okay, so it is quite exactly same like that. So in this VM, I have a requester. So what I will do, I will mock that. Okay, I will mock that. Okay, I don't want to pass any payload. I will simply mock it. This is my requester. I mock it. So this is the same way how you do when you use a lookup also. Okay, doesn't matter for which particular flow I am creating it. Okay, I can mock any of the components, any of the connector. I will change this verify call. I will change it to the VM flow, the complete one. Okay, now let us debug and see what happened. Any question till now? Anything on the chat? Can we do a minute for aggregators module? Aggregator module. See, I have not tried that. I need to try it honestly, but I think there should be a way to do that as well. But I haven't tried that, so I will not say it. See, now what happened earlier? It was just this particular flow, but now everything is executed. Sorry, this one, everything is executed. Okay, something bad is going with my studio, I guess. I did debugger, but still it run everything, nothing stopped. But it has taken encounter with this one also, and this one was mocked. Okay, so this is how then call is used. This is how you can do it for a lookup. Okay, now again, one more, the interesting one I have is how to write a minute for this particular error handler, which you get with your main flow. Okay, so anyone have any idea how we write a minute for this? For this type of error handling, we can write. Okay, I will show you. We can write it. Okay, we can write flows for that. But how we can write it for error handling where we have a API kit router? Any idea, anyone?
Uh,
Yes, no? Hmm.
can we mock the API kit router and then we can then return the error like HTTP unauthorized
Yep, we'll
API
do
kit?
that. That
Okay.
is, I will say you said 70 part of that. But there is one more thing you need to do. I will show you. Okay, just mocking the API kit router and then writing the. Sorry, come on, anyone? Anyone saying anything? Okay.
I think Abhishek, we can write the some XML things I have seen like we have added in a mail suit. So like
Hmm.
it's a error handling is a common. Okay, we can reuse this error handler in a multiple APIs, almost in
Hmm.
all APIs.
Hmm.
And I think some XML to add because of it will common for all APIs. But
No,
this is the
that is a
challenge I am facing. Like for error handling, I'm stuck to many.
I
We
will
cannot
show you.
write.
I will show you.
Yeah.
I've also written a blog on this. I will share that. I will show you how you can do. See, one thing is you can skip it. I will show you how we can like in the starting in the PPT I have shown you like there is a process to skip it. Okay, you can use this tags. I can show that also for the console how we can skip the console. But let me show you how we can do it for error handling, whether it is global or if you are doing it from API kit router. I will show you. So first thing, yes, mock your API kit router. Mock this. Okay, you mocked it. Now for which you want to write a minute, like I want to write an minute for this bad request. Okay, I'll close this. So in this you will see you get a tab of error. Please mute if you are not talking. Okay, in this mock you get a tab for error. Put your error over here. Okay, this I have done, but let me ignore this. I don't want to run this. Okay, but this is not going to help. I will show you why. Even though you
We
mock the
have
IP packet
to
router. Yeah, tell
sorry,
me.
we have to mention that it will fail with this error. That what, right?
No, I will show you. No, 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 no.
Okay.
That is the validation part, like whether it
Okay.
is failing or not, you are validating that. But
Okay.
in this particular thing you don't even need to have a validator.
Okay.
The validation will be done from the suit and I will show you how.
Okay.
Okay, please bear with me if I go a little over time. Okay, because I'm trying to explain you some interesting things. Okay, maybe like 5:30 is our time, but I think we will exceed little bit because after this I have a little thing on the batch and few POM things I have. So I think it will be fine if we exceed little bit. I will try not to exceed more, but I think little bit we can. Okay, so just bear with me for that. Now see, okay, it came to API kit router. It is fine, it will give you error because we are playing with the error handling. It came here, still it give me error. Why? Because there is no validation. It is not validating whether it is a correct one or not. Even though I put a validator, it is never going to come to the validation. Okay, that is what I have observed. Just one thing what you need to do over here is to make it as a success case. This error, the type ID what you have over here, the same need to be used over here. There is an expected failure in your suit itself. You need to put it over here. In this case, what is happening, your suit is validating what error it is. Sometimes you are writing error like some error handlings where you are using a global error handling. Okay, and you are not uh, calling it from the main flow. So basically in what happens when you do a global error handling, in place of writing any error handling in the main flow like this, we give the reference of the global error handling. Okay, so if we are not calling it from the main flow, it is not going to global error handling and it fails. So in that case also you can do it like this. You need to provide your error in the expected error type in your suit. Now you will see the difference. You have seen like it failed when I tried that time. Okay, but once I give the error type in suit, you will see what will happen. Okay, it came here, here. Okay, see, now it is success. My test case is done. As I have used that error in this suit, it is giving me success. So it is automatically validating from the suit itself, from the API kit router itself, routing to the correct error, and it is giving you the output. Getting it? Anyone? Is it? Are you getting it? Isn't it cool?
Yay. Yes.
So someone said like they are facing difficulty in the error part. So this is one way how you do the API kit router. Okay.
Abhishek, like
Yeah.
here it we are telling it, that this is a valid kind of error, that is
Hmm.
the bad request, and
Hmm.
it is expected and it should not be failed. This is what we are instructing here.
Correct.
Okay.
So now suppose if I am trying for API kit bad request, but in the suit I am giving not found. So there you will see it will fail because the suit is expecting the output should be not found, the error should be not found, but my API kit router is giving bad request.
Mhm.
Okay, so that is how the validation is done through the suit itself. Okay, now for this error it is quite simple. Okay, maybe you are taking a flow without VM or you are taking with a VM. Just create a request flow with this. In this, just one situation will be like if you don't have any connectors. Now suppose I don't have this requester, I have error handling, I have only transform message. Then you need to write your code in such a way like your transform message fails and it should go to the error handling. Otherwise, if you have any connector, what you can do whenever you are mocking, the way I did for this API kit router. So in all the mocking, you will see there is a tab for error. So if I am doing it for a requester, simply I'll go to my error tab. I can write any, it will automatically come to my error and it will validate that. Okay, so the same way you can do it for your private flows or flows where you have your error handling. Even for try scope you can do it. Now suppose you have a try over here. Okay, you have a requester inside that, you have an error handling over there. So for that also that is valid. You will you will mock this in the error tab, you will write an error, automatically it will come to your error handling and it will come out. Okay, that is also possible. Okay, if anyone is facing issue, just try it once. If not, you can connect me anytime. Okay, so I just want to move fast, otherwise I've shown you that. But the process is same. For API kit router it is different. We are doing it in a suit, but for flows we may not do it in the suit directly. Just in the mocking we'll define the error what we want, and it will get handled. In that case you also need to have a validator. In this I don't have a validator because it is anyhow not going to the validator part. In my blog I have shown the validator because it is saying like we should not keep it empty, but it is not going to the validation part. The suit will itself take care of it. Okay, now just the last one for this flows, then I will show you the ignore flow and the use of CMD. Okay, now to create you can use the recorder for batch because that will be easy. But the flow, the test which is created from the recorder is not going to help. It is going to fail. I will show you because there you need to manually do some changes. Okay, and what is that I will show you. Anyone, any question? All good?
Abhishek, as such, no question, but addition to error handling, if you
Hmm.
want to handle the error, you can put your flow into the try and catch there as well in the Munit. if you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
want to put it, right? You just put
correct.
your flow into the try and put continue there and put any. All the error will be handled automatically.
Okay, that's a great point. Like as I said, some limited things I've tried. I've not tried that, but I will try that.
Yeah, but this is the new thing. I always use the try, but
Uh,
I just
I
learned
never
today
used
this.
a try one. Like
Yeah,
in the flow, if there is a try, we can handle that. But in Amunit, I've never tried.
yeah. I
I'll try
used to
that.
do that try and put my flow, whatever
Ah,
happened, error out, and just catch in the continue. I got the success there.
oh, that's great, yeah. I got your point. How you're saying? Okay,
Yeah, because of
I
the
will
flow
try.
itself, like if something happened in the flow,
Uh,
it will catch in the continue, na?
so yeah, so in the flow reference, like the flow reference which I have over here, you
Yeah,
put this into try and then a
exactly.
continuous.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah. That is
got it,
super
got it.
easy.
Yeah, I have seen that, but I never tried that.
Yeah.
See, that's what happened when we share things. So that's why I'm saying, please don't be shy. Share your things over here. We all are here to learn. So let us learn new things which we have not done before. Uh, Sorry, my bad. I'm really sorry. I need to make it. I need to change it. Meanwhile, anyone have any question? So we can do a lot of things in our Palm. Like meanwhile it is starting, I will tell you about Palm. So this is my configuration for Aminit. So this skip Aminit test, like suppose I am doing CI/CD, I want the Aminit test case to be run when I'm starting my API, when I'm deploying. So I can choose false or true. So if it is false, that means I'm not skipping the Aminit. If I make it true, then the Aminit will not run when even I'm doing CI/CD or even Studio when we are running it. It will not execute. Ignore flow or ignore file. If I want to ignore a particular flow that I don't want to write a minute, I will show you for the console. I have a console over here. I have a console. I have not created a minute. I will show you what happens when I ignore that. Even I can ignore a complete file. Now, if I want that, I don't want to write a minute for this particular file, which is a minute project, I can put it over here and I can ignore the complete XML itself. Required application coverage, that is like you are setting a limit, like the my minute, the complete minute of my API should cross 70. Okay, it should be 70. So if you'll see, this build failed, I made it false now. So what it does is, if this required is not 70, my build will not happen. Okay, my build success will not happen, it will fail. Okay, maybe I'll show you when I'll do the command prompt. If it is not 78, how it fails. Okay, this formats, like this is just like in what all format the summary reports what we get from this coverage. Okay, in what all different format you want it. We have got four formats: console, html, JSON, and sonar. Okay, console is like it will print everything in your console, like the percentage and few other details. Everything will be printed uh, in your console. HTML, like HTML format in which you want your summary or report. JSON is the JSON format in which you want your summary or report. Okay, so this is what this configuration does. So once this batch process one is done, I will show you that.
Few question Abhishek in the chat. Meanwhile, if you want to answer that.
Okay, Murli, it depends business to business. Okay, your business may require minimum 80, some business required 75, some required 70. Okay, so it's not fixed like it should be 70, 80 or a 75. It can be anything. I joined a bit late, so check on one point. If you don't want to have a minute implementation for all steps or subflow as part of flow implementation, uh, if you don't want to have a minute implementation for all steps, so
You
you can
already
ignore.
you already explained Abhishek.
Yeah,
Mm,
is there a way to that we can ignore only one component in a flow? No, one component,
what does
particular
it mean?
component, no. If it is a part of that flow, if it is running, then you need to make it a part of your minute. You cannot ignore one component. Like you can mock, but
Mhm.
you need to provide if any payload if you want. But mocking can be done to connectors, not to the components like data wave, as I said. Okay, so batch one is done. I will mock again this select. Then what I have a requester. I will mock a requester. See, so when you do a minute for batch, you cannot mock anything inside the batch aggregator. Okay, even the batch aggregator also you cannot mock. So this is something, a combination of record plus manual thing you need to do. Okay, it cannot mock. But just to create the structure, I will create it. I need to manually do changes over here. Okay, so this is for my batch. Let me ignore other test case for now. Okay, in this you can see only select is mocked, but I also have a requester. Okay, so what I will do is manually I can mock it. I'll put it. Okay, I don't concern what is the payload I'm getting. So okay, for now I'm not concerned about that. I will simply mock it. Okay, batch flow. So now when I go manually, I can do it, but with recorder, I cannot do it. Okay, I mocked it. I mocked the requester. One more thing you need to do is sleep. This is one important thing. I will show you, I will tell you why. So I will put it in second, maybe 20-second in assertion. Now see, in this also one thing you need to change is, now when you do the assertion expression, see the batch job, it has been created. Now it has created a timestamp. Okay, but real time when you are doing your minute, you are not going to get this exact timeout because it is it is running on your current timestamp. So when now I will run my minute, it will fail because my output will not match, because this timestamp would not match. Okay, other things are fine. Okay, one more thing, this instance id, not sure whether this is going to be same. This can be also default. Okay, so to avoid that, what we can do is, instead of this, remove this. I can do assert, sorry, again I am using that. No, sorry, assert that. Yeah, like someone asked me when to choose. So this is one, I can say a scenario where I am removing the assertion expression because it is not going to fit my scenario, and I am using assert that, where I am saying simply my payload should not be null. That's it. Okay, my payload should not be null. Other thing it's fine, and I will simply run it. Okay, for my batch. Why I use sleep? Can anyone tell me what's the important of using this sleep for this batch? Anyone, just put your idea. Anyone, guys? See, what happened, our batch processing is asynchronous. It parallelly process, parallel threads are going on. Okay, but minute is synchronous. So the important of this sleep is I am making that thread on sleep and running one thread at a time. then only my minute for batch will work. Okay, because if it is running parallelly, then I am getting parallel output, and that is going to fail my minute because it is not going to match. Okay, so in order to avoid that, I have used a sleep over here. Okay.
Means Abhishek that that means ki that for that say for the time that processor going to get paused, right?
Yeah, for a particular time.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
It's sort of window we are providing for 20 seconds to execute it, right?
Yeah, 20-second windows. Like I'm making it pause for 20 seconds. Now you depend, like you, it's a small flow for you. You can put 10 seconds. If it's a big, you can use more. But I don't have any limit as of now. Okay, what should be the limit for that? But yes, this is one way you can do. Okay, it is running. See, it's success. Okay, my minute is success. Implementation, my batch flow. Even if I go, it's complete. Now what happened now, if I don't mock the requester, it will go to my requester part, which can be an issue. If I don't put sleep, what will happen, it will come to till the aggregation part, it will stop and it will give me error. Okay, so I tried it multiple times. Okay, then I read some blog and then I came to know, okay, this is how we can do it. Okay, assertion expression which I've shown you earlier, it will not going to match what I have over here because that timestamp is not going to match. Again, there are parallel threads, so it may give error. Okay, so this is one way how you can write a minute for batch processing. Okay, so now I have quite enough minutes. Okay, till now I have shown you like individually I was running the minute. I will enable all test. Okay, so from studio, if you want to run all together to get the coverage report, okay, of whatever minutes we have done till now. Okay, so what you can do, click on this folder, right click, go to minutes, run test. So what it will do, it will run all the minute suits what I have all together, and it will give me the coverage of it. Okay, let me show you that. And in this, I will show you one important point. In previous, in my PPT, I was saying you like there are two approach. One is the studio approach where you can do the minute testing, you can get the coverage. One is the CMD approach, and I prefer CMD approach should be done when you do your minute. And why, I will show you now. Because when you do a CI/CD, that is also a CMD approach that is giving you the complete output. So if you do through CMD, you will get the actual coverage report, actual output of your minute. Okay, because there are some, I can say, limitations or not a part of the studio plugin. Okay, where you may not get the actual coverage report when you do ignore. Okay, when you do the ignore flow or file, the coverage report which you will see now, the same you will see when I do the ignore also, but you will see the difference when I do it in CMD. It's running the batch one. Okay, one suit is done. You can see here in the left hand side the process. Okay, so we have got 8 suit, everything is done. Okay, I'm getting 78.72 as a coverage. Okay, 96 for this, 35 for this. Okay, fine. Now let me do one thing. In my main flow, I have got this console which is not covered. So let me ignore this.
Even though Abhishek, this console is not gonna help us in like in higher environment. Always we should avoid it.
Yes, yes, that's why I was saying about that CMD one. Okay, now I have ignored the console. Let's see the output. Okay, meanwhile it is running. For CMD, what you need to do is, okay, for file also this is the same. I'm not going to show that, I'm skipping. Just you need to give the name of this XML files over here and it will skip that. Okay, so in order to run the Munit, first thing you need to have MVN in your system. So how to check it is, open your CMD. Okay, you can do MVN hyphen version to check whether Maven is there in your system or not. Okay, if it is there, you'll get it like this. If it is not there, no worries. You simply need to configure it. How you do it? Go to your advanced section of your system. Okay, go to your environment variable. In this, you need to set these things: M2 home, Maven home. Okay, just download the Apache Maven from Apache browser. Okay, you can download that. Then once you get it, unzip it. Okay, wherever you keep it, till the Apache Maven, the folder name, you need to give it in your M2 home and Maven home. Okay, you need to keep that. Uh, be sure on your Java. Okay, you can put a Java home also if you required over here. I have not put, it's working for me. But this two Maven, M2 home and Maven home is required in order to run the Maven command from your command prompt. Okay, this configuration is required. One that is done, you can check Maven is present or not. Then simply you can right click to your API name system flow. So you can go to the workspace where your where your flow is present, where your API is present. Okay, and open it in CMD. Like you need to traverse to the folder where your API is present. Okay, the simple meaning is that. So once this is done, I will show you. Okay, this is done. Let's see the coverage. The coverage is still 78.72. Okay, this is still there. No change, even though I put ignore. I will just increase this just to show you the failure part also, like build failure thing. Now it is false. I'm making it 85. Now let us test the same thing through the CMD. Okay, go here. I will do CMD. So the command to run the test case for your API is mvn clean test. Clean so that if there is any cookie or any garbage thing available, it will get clean. And test for there are different layers of Maven. Okay, like compile, test, package, install. So test is a layer. So in this, it will also compile as well as the test the minutes. So mvn clean test. Now it will run it. So our coverage was 78.72. Okay, even after I use the ignore flow, it is 78.72. Let's see what happened now, whether it's increased or not. Meanwhile, any question, anyone? We are almost time now. I'll just this two things I need to show and then we are done. Okay, see everything what happens in your console, it is the same way. Okay, but this give you a good perspective of your minute. Not only minute, if you are getting any errors or anything, everything can be shown over here, which might not show you in the console or in the platform. Okay, sometimes you get issues. Okay, but you don't get the actual output, like reason why the issues are there, the problems are there. So you can run it in your command prompt and it will give you the exact, the complete responsible error reason for that. Okay, so it's running the batch one. you can see the payloads. Okay, the test, it will give you a detailed information. See, okay, build success, 8 test cases, your coverage is 82.22. This is your actual coverage using the ignore flow, which was not showing in the platform console, but this is actual what you have. Required was 85. Okay, but it is not up to the required percentage. Still it is not failed, it is success. Okay, why? Because I marked it here as false build. Okay, now if I make it true, okay, let me close this. Okay, I made it true, I need 85. Okay, just a cleanup. Again I will go refresh, I will open it. So if you make any changes, I will suggest close your command prompt and open again, because it may not load. Now let me see. So you show the different, like what percentage it has given in command prompt, but what it has given in platform. That's why I was saying, although you have completed a complete Munit in your platform, at least once run it in command prompt. Okay, in CMD you should run it once. If there will be any error or anything which you may face when you do the CI/CD, you can rectify that over here itself. Okay, just more 2 minutes. I won't take much time now. We are almost done. Meanwhile, it is running. Anyone, any question? Nope. Build failed. Same. Everything is same. Coverage 82.22. Okay. Required was 85. It is not showing. Somewhere it should have written. Okay, but it failed because of the coverage where I made it build failed true.
Yeah, it is
Like
written.
if
It is written there in under the failure tag.
uh failure
Go up. Go up. You see failure tag. Yeah, yeah, that line. See, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
This
application
yes,
coverage low. Below what is say limited
this one.
coverage. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yes.
this one. Okay, yeah, see, because of that, and just only why, because I made a small change, build failed to false to true. So this is like what you can have in your CI/CD script also. Okay, not necessary to have here. Okay, so that's all from my end. Okay, we had our demo. So I will share you some reference. Okay, I have. So any question now?